The new Hyperlite Mountain Gear Unbound pack is great, but it doesn't have load lifters. Well, you can add them without a single stitch of sewing. Hi there again, I'm Jason. If you saw a little movie we did a bit ago, you know that the family and I did a point-to-point of a few sections of the Colorado Trail recently. I'll put a link in the description if you want to check it out. At one point, at Kokomo Pass actually, we ran into a thru-hiking couple and I was asked how I like my Hyperlite Mountain Gear Unbound pack, given that it was pretty new to the market. The guy I was talking with said he would be willing to give it a try if it only had load-lifting straps. I let him know that while it didn't have load lifters installed, it did have loops at the shoulder peaks to allow you to put in your own straps. Well, here's how I did it without a single stitch of sewing. First though, we need some materials and a few, I use the term loosely, tools. The tools are simple. We need a sharp pair of scissors and we need a lighter. The materials are also simple, but strangely hard to find because of the small webbing size used on the Unbound at 5/8 inches or around 15 millimeters. The webbing is easy to find, but the buckles that fit it are not. I ended up ordering mine from adventureexpert.com, which is based in Slovenia. If you want to find hardware and accessories for your backpack, they have quite a selection. I have no connection to them, and indeed had never heard of them until I bought the hardware for this, but I had a great experience with them. So, I needed what they call an adjustable webbing hook. It is really a G-hook with 2 additional slots to form a buckle. The key is to get them with a 15 millimeter aperture, or we will end up with too much play in our strap system. We want one pair of left-facing and one pair of right-facing. Now we also need the 15 millimeter or 5/8 inch webbing. We don't need a lot. We are making 2 straps that are around 10 inches or 26 centimeters each. When we are done, the setups weigh 7 grams each, or 14 grams in total for both. Okay, once we have our materials, we need to start by making room for the load lifting strap, so we need to move the Unbound's sternum strap. This is pretty easy and doesn't require any tools. As we look at the strap connection, we see an inside end that has a long plastic G-hook and an outside end that has a short hook. We lift the upper end of the daisy-chained webbing on the shoulder strap past the short outside hook. Now we can twist to free the inside edge. We repeat with the underside of the webbing. Move the plastic lower on the shoulder strap and reverse our process. Thread the inside edge of the lower fabric back into the plastic, then the outside edge. Now, on the upper side, again, we go inside edge and then outside edge. We repeat the whole process with the sternum strap connection on the other shoulder strap, making sure the 2 sides line up. Now, we are ready to make the load lifters. We begin by measuring our 10 inches or 26 centimeters and cut 2 strips of webbing to that length. We cauterize the ends with our lighter so as to avoid having loose threads to pull. Now we place the hook through the webbing loop provided on the pack and another on the webbing on the shoulder. I've been using the 3rd available loop. To make the adjustable side of the strap, we thread the webbing from underneath and through the middle slot on the buckle. We fold over the top and thread back through the lowest opening on the buckle. This will be the part we pull to lift the load. To have that work though, we need the webbing that goes to the shoulder strap to lock in place. We can do this without sewing by using a double back connection like climbers used to have to use on harnesses before they developed auto-locking buckles. Again, we start from underneath, but this time go through the first available slot in the buckle. We fold over the top and thread through the second opening. Now we create another fold and thread it back through the 3rd opening, the G-hook opening. And we finish by going back through the first opening again. Now that lower buckle is locked, so when we pull the upper tail of webbing, we engage the load lift. We repeat on the other side, and obviously by adding more webbing length, we could set the locking end lower on the shoulder strap to get even more lift. So, now our Hyperlite Mountain Gear Unbound pack has load lifters on it. Do you have a gear modification that you've made that you are particularly happy with? Tell us about it in the comments. Thanks for watching this video. Please like, subscribe, and share if you want to support us. For more information, you can go to our website at www.shortguysbetaworks.com. Again, maybe you'd like to check out that short backpacking film I mentioned about our family's most recent time on the Colorado Trail, or maybe you'd be interested in more videos in our gear series. We'll see you next week and keep on getting more out of that big outside.